Hey guys, techmadeezy, and thank you so much for clicking on our video today. Well guys, we've got a small power station. This is a GooLoo GTX300. All right, 300 watt power station, about 8.8 pounds, so pretty light. It's actually got a pretty big display, which is kind of one of its unique features, and you've got 4 ways to charge. Now, I will tell you, there's going to be something shocking about this, so make sure you watch the full review, all right, because it's going to be important. Again, it's a nice little power station, but we've had some challenges, so let's go ahead and check this out. Hi, this is Al from techmadeezy with a really quick message. The video you're about to watch is sponsored. We received this product from the vendor. But keep in mind, we will be very honest with you as we review the product. That is very important to us. If you like our video, I sure hope you give us a thumbs up. I hope you share our video. And last, I really hope you subscribe and become a part of the family. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get this unboxed. And there it goes. So you get this really small power station with a huge screen. I can't wait to see that on. You get your power brick with your plug there. You get a car charger, all right, with the DC. You get a USB Type-C to a USB Type-C cable. So that's pretty cool, because one of the things you can do is you can charge this using USB Type-C as well. So it's not only an output, but it's also an input. So we'll show you that later on. You also get a small booklet as well. So that's it. Let's take a look at this thing. Let's take a moment now and we'll go over some basics. So this is the GooLoo GTX300 and MSRP is $349. I've seen this on sale for less for sure. We'll definitely put some links in the description. Now this is a 300 watt power station. It surges to 500 watts. It is a pure sine wave inverter, and we will test that. So see that in the testing section of the video. They say this does have pass-through charging as well. The battery on this is a lithium-ion battery. They say it has 1,000 cycles and then it goes to 80%. I got to tell you, that's the highest I've seen on a lithium-ion battery. Battery capacity on this is 299 watt hours. So not bad for the size, right? It does have a BMS for over voltage, over charge, over current, discharge protection, and temperature protection. Now, they don't have a UPS on this, so you won't have a UPS if you need that feature. As far as solar is concerned, you've got 2 ways to charge this via solar, and we're going to go over the ports and everything in a little while. But in the back, you've got a DC 7909, which is rated at 120 watts max, 12 to 30 volt, 6 amp. Now, if you use the Anderson port, it's a little different. 120 watts max, 12 to 30 volt, but 7.5 amp max. Special features on this guy. You've got this large 7-inch display. Let's turn that on for a minute and let me move the light. It's not super bright, but they did also give you a button so you can turn the screen off. So I do like that. There's an LED light on the back of this. We'll test it later. You've got, just a normal light. You got a strong light, and then you've got an SOS. What's included, you saw earlier, you get the wall charger, you get the car charger, and then you get the USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable and a small manual. Now the weight on this is 8.8 pounds or 3.99 kilogram, and the warranty they give you on this is 2 years. All right, let's go ahead and take a close look at this now. So let's take a close look at this. Again, I'll turn the display back on so you can see that 7-inch display. I'll move the lights a little bit. It's not super bright, and that can be kind of helpful. Look, you can't miss this, right? It's a 7-inch display, so that works really well. And I think all the information's pretty large, so you do get that. As far as output, let's start off here. You do get USB Type-C, 2 of them. Now, on their website, they say these are both in and out, but actually this one is in and out. So this specific port here is a 60 watt in and out. So you can output 60 watt, or you can charge this up to 60 watt, which is nice. You do get 2 USB Type A. One of them is a quick charge, so it'll be a little faster. You do get 2 barrel plugs. All right, 12 volt, 5 amp. You get a car charge outlet. It's covered, which is nice, and that's helpful to keep the dust out. And that is 12 volt, 10 amp. Then you get 2 AC outlets, right? Now they're not grounded, right? So just so you'll know, but you know, any one of these would give you 300 watts. You do get an AC power button and you get a DC power button. So, you know, when you're using it, and again, let me move the lights for a moment. If I turn on DC, that'll show there. If I turn on AC, that'll show there, and turn on the inverter as well. So turn that off. And, you know, again, I like that you can turn the screen off, which is really helpful. Let's take a look at the right side and ventilation. And, you know, the thing about this thing is it's small. It's got some accents of yellow, as you can see. Some people think that's a light, but it's not. You get this accent of yellow here, kind of like a honeycomb. But that's ventilation, so that's on both sides. You know, obviously one of the fans is going to take it in, the other one's going to take it out. On the top, you know, you don't get a flat top. It looks like the handle is removable. I'm not going to remove it. You get the logo here, a little spot to put something. You're not going to get that flat top if you were looking for that. On the back of the unit, you do get a light, which we're going to show you later on. We're going to do some testing with the light. Here is your DC 7909 input, and here's your Anderson. Here is your power button for your light. I'm not going to turn it on right now. It would be ridiculous. Here's where you get some specifications as well. And let me just turn this around. Let's take a look at the bottom real quick for the rubber, you know, and just take a good look at that and see. So you do get 2 big pieces of rubber right here on the bottom, and you can see how thick they are. They're not bad at all, I'll be honest with you. And it looks like they shouldn't, you know, they should prevent damage depending on where you're putting this. So I like that. So that is definitely our close look. Okay, this is something that I include in every one of my power station videos moving forward. It's called Know Before You Buy. And my goal with this is that you don't go out and buy something that is not going to work for you. All right? I don't want you spending the money. I don't want you to have the headache. And I can tell you how this started. I had a friend that bought a power station, and it was a small one. And because it was a power station, I believe she assumed it would power her coffee maker. And so she was extremely disappointed. And after talking with her, I tried to explain it's more about knowledge and understanding. And so that's why I put together Know Before You Buy, because I want you to think about a few things that I'm going to go over in this section. So let me get started with number 1. Number 1 is, what do you want to power? You have to just stop for a minute and say, you know what am I using this for? Is it for a camping trip? Is it for a road trip? Am I buying this in the case of an emergency if my power goes out? Am I taking this to a cabin that we go to every once in a while? Right? So what do you want to power? Refrigerators, TVs, phones, you may be the internet, you know, a laptop, LED lights. So take a moment, write that down. What do you want to power? Number 2, do you know how much power your appliances and device require? You probably don't. Most people don't. I learned so much in the last couple of years, and I still don't know everything. So I'm going to be showing you an accessory towards the end of this video that I highly recommend you get, because it's going to help you, you know, determine how much power your laptop uses, your TV uses, your phone uses. But let's stick to this page here. So number 2, how much power? So you need to know that, okay? And the other thing is, some of these devices have startup wattage, surge wattage. If you're going to be powering a refrigerator uses wattage, but then it has a compressor that kicks on to make the refrigerator cold. And that can use hundreds of watts, especially older type refrigerators. Let's look at some examples real quick on the bottom. LED lights can use 5, maybe 10 watts. Those are the newer LED lights, right? Laptops can use 100. They could use more. It just depends on how old it is. Is it a gaming laptop, you know? TVs can vary. New TVs use 100 to 200 watts, those thin TVs. But if you have a larger one, it could use 300 watts. If you have an older one, well, those can use like 300-400 watts. And what about a CPAP, right? You know, if you have to sleep overnight and you have to use a CPAP, well, those can vary from 50 to 150 watts, probably more, probably less. Let's take a look at the next section. So here's part 3. How long, right? How long will you need to power the appliances or devices? Now, again, let's just say it's for an emergency, right? Maybe your power goes out once a year for like 8 to 12 hours. Let's use that as an example, all right? But you have to know, or at least have an idea before you make a purchase, because how long really connects with the battery size of the power stations. So let's look at the next slide. So let's put it all together, right? Number 1, what do you want to power? What devices or appliances? Have a list of that. Number 2, how much power do the appliances and devices require? Now, the tool or accessory I'm going to show you coming up is going to help you do that. And number 3, how long will you need to power them, right? Number 3, again, pertains to the size of the battery, right? But number 1, you know, and number 2 really pertains to the power of the unit, because each of these power stations have different power ratings. So here's an accessory that I'm going to recommend. And the brand, don't worry about the brand, because sometimes this brand's not available. I'll make sure links are in the description. But this device here, and I'm going to demo it in a moment so you can see it. I'm going to show it to you. It's real simple. But if you're new to it, you know, it's intimidating, right? So this sells for around $25, and you can connect devices and appliances up to 1,875 watts. So just be aware, or 15 amps. Now, again, I don't expect you to know that, but I have to tell you that because if you plug in, let's say, a 3,000 watt like toaster oven, it's not going to work on this, okay? But let me demo it for you. But what this will do is it will help you understand the wattage that your devices and appliances use. So let's check out the demo. So we're going to do a simple demo, you know, so you know what this device is about. Again, it doesn't cost much, first of all, right? I think it's around $25. And depending on the brand that's available, we'll put a link in the description. But just realize also that you can't plug everything into this. I believe there's like an 1,800 watt limit and a certain amount of amps. Now, I know that's complicated, but if you want to know how many watts your light is using, how many watts your refrigerator is using, how many watts your laptop uses, your phone, this is perfect for it, okay? So this is plugged into my outlet, as you can see on the wall, and now I've got this light plugged in here. So all I need to do now is turn on the light, and let's see how many watts it uses. Now, again, it is on the watt screen, and this does do more than watts, so just be aware, okay? You can actually figure out kilowatts, which is how your electric company bills you, but I don't want to get that complicated. So let me turn the light on. And look at that, we're using 6.3 watts on the LED light. That's really good, right? And again, plug in your laptop, plug in your phone. Again, you'll learn more about the wattage that your appliances use, even your coffee maker. But if this was helpful, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And we're going to continue on with the review. All right, we are in the bedroom. And let me tell you, am I getting personal with you guys or what? Well, we're going to do the LED check on this power station. So I'm going to turn it on. This is going to be the low. All right, this is high. And then this is SOS. All right, off. Low. Is that a spider? Is it? Oh, no. No, it's not. Oof, it's a fake one. High. And of course, SOS. And that is our LED light test. 4:20 p.m. We're going to do a charge test. Let me just plug this thing in. We'll see what wattage we get. All right, we're at 0%, 4:20 p.m. Let's see what we get in wattage to charge this thing. 65 watts so far. Please tell me it's not going to be. All right, it's going up a little bit more. All right, now it's off. Now it's back on. This is definitely an interesting power station. 85, 60, it's just up and down. All right, well, look, it's 4:20 p.m. I'm seeing 82 watts. I guess we'll find out. 2 hours in, I decided to wait 2 hours because I saw this thing was charging at, 80, 81 watts. We're at 49%. 2 hours in, it's 6:20 p.m. And as you can see, we're still pumping in about 80, 82 watts. 3.5 hours. We're at 84%. 3.5 hours in. 84%, still 81 watts going in. All right, we are 4 hours in. I got the girl Brooklyn hanging out here. We're 4 hours in, 8:20 p.m., 89%. As you can see, it's now slow charging at 10 to 13 watts. 8:20, 89%. 4 hours and 31 minutes to charge this thing fully. We're now 100%. Wow, 4 hours, 31 minutes. So one of the things you definitely want to get, if you're going to go out and spend the money and get yourself a power station, is you want to get a power station that has a pure sine wave inverter. And that basically means the power that you get out of the AC outlets is pure and clean. Now, modified is noisy, and if you use it on, let's say, a fan, or you use it on like a TV, audio-visual devices, I've heard CPAP as well, you're going to definitely notice it. Now, if I turn on AC on this here, give it a moment, and that should come up pure sine wave, which is going to be a nice, smooth line there, as you can see, up and down. So the GooLoo provides pure sine wave power, and it's something that you should get if you're getting a power station. All right, good morning. We are going to start our solar test, just a simple test. We want to make it informative. All right, Brooklyn is here hanging out with me. Now, what you're going to need is a solar panel. All right, obviously you got your power station. I'm going to recommend that you get a longer solar cable. We'll put links in the description on that. Then I'm going to recommend, obviously, in order to connect the power station to the solar panel, you're going to need an Anderson cable. So we're going to give you an Anderson cable in the links below. And on the other side, it's going to be MC4, right? So this connects to, the solar panel. In this case, we're going to connect it to the longer cables. So we have our solar panel out in the sun and our power station kind of closer to us. Two other accessories we're going to recommend, and we're going to show you how they work. The solar disconnector tool, I'll show you how that works. Very inexpensive. And then this has become pretty valuable to me. It is a solar angle guide. It actually helps you angle your panel to the sun so that you get the most out of it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, very important, when you're going to buy a solar panel for your power station, you want to make sure that it's not going to be too much, because if it is, you could actually damage the power station. So this power station, you want to understand the solar limits, right? Because it's a smaller solar panel. I mean, a solar power station, right? So what are the limits to solar on this GooLoo? Well, the GooLoo is basically max 120 watts, but here's the important part, right? It's called open circuit voltage, and that's the range is 12 to 30 volts. Now, let's stop for a minute and talk about that. That panel there, basically, the open circuit voltage is 24.3 volts. All right, so that's a match. Now, let's just say this panel was like 33 volts. Well, you couldn't use that panel with this power station. So, you know, the voltage is extremely important because in this case, we're connecting one panel, right? When you start connecting multiple, it's a different situation, but this power station can't handle multiple solar panels unless they're smaller solar panels, all right? So that's a 100-watt solar panel, and the max solar on this is 120, so we're okay there. Again, open circuit voltage, 12 to 30 volts on the power station, and the panel is 24.3 volts, so that's good. The other thing we want to look at is short circuit current, right? That's the amperage. So this maxes out at 7.5 amp when using the Anderson port, and this panel that we have here is a 5.21 amp panel. So there you go. All right, I hope that helped because that's really important. And if you're not sure, ask me some questions below. But I don't want you to get too much of a solar panel because, again, you can damage the power station. So let's go ahead and set this up. So connecting the extension solar cable is very easy. You can't make a mistake. It's male to female. So you just want to make sure they're pushed in all the way. And the same thing here. And we'll show you later on the tool to take these, you know, disconnect these. But as you can see here now, we are now connected to our solar panel. Let me put this in position and we'll talk more. So let's talk about the solar angle guide accessory. So you see this dot in the front there? And then you see this area here, it's like a target. So the goal is that little dot is going to create a shadow. And we're going to want that shadow in the center of the target. And when we do that, that tells us that we actually have the perfect angle. Now, if that shadow is too high or too low, all you need to do is move your panel. I'm going to go ahead and put this on and show you. I've already set the panel up. So let's take a look at that real quick. So the panel is here. And I've got the perfect angle right now based off the sun and all that. So if I put this on here, all right, and hopefully you can see the shadow there. That shadow is dead center. My panel is in its optimal position, and what that means is that I'm going to get the best sun I can get. The most sun coming in is going to create more power to charge that power station via solar. All right, so I hope that helps. Again, this is real inexpensive. We'll put it in the description, but let's go ahead and connect the power station now and see what we're getting. There's the Anderson port, and we're going to go ahead and just take this cable and plug it in. All right, we push it into place, and now let's connect the MC4 cables and see what we get. Let's take a moment now and just connect the last and see what wattage we're receiving. All right, so we're 89% charged. We're getting about 75 watts right now. Not bad on a 100-watt panel. It's actually not bad. 78, 70. All right, it goes up and down. It does that for a moment with solar. All right, but 89%. 77 watts coming in on solar with that angle really helping. It says we're going to take the last 10% and charge it within a half hour. So as you can see here, it says 0.5 hours, 77 watts, 89%. So that is a successful solar test. So all you got to do now is take these apart. Now some people actually can do them with their fingernails. I like this little tool, you know, this little tool is helpful. So as you can see here, there are two pins that need to be pushed in, right? These two pins. And this tool has, you know, two pieces that go against those pins. So what you do is you lay this in here like so, all right? And as you can see here, these two are now pushing the pins in, which will allow you to disconnect. All right? So again, solar disconnector tool. We'll put that in the description. By the way, this panel sells anywhere from $85 to about $120, depending on when it's on sale. All right? This is a Renogy panel. They're a very well-known company. And we'll put the link in the description, okay? Let's go ahead and use the included USB cable. And what I want to do is I'm going to plug it in. I've got a 100-watt USB Type-C plug here. And I'm going to plug it in there. And obviously this is only going to take in so much. But let's go ahead and plug this in and see if it lights up and starts showing. And let me move this here as well. So look at that, 37, 47, 56, 58 watts. All right. Now, what's good about this display also is it actually tells you it's going to be an hour to recharge with the 58 watts. So it's actually telling you. I like that. You know, a lot of manufacturers don't have that. So your battery is showing. You got a percentage. So far, so good. So there you go with a little test on charging via USB Type-C. So our next question is, can this little power station power our TV, our home internet, our Wi-Fi router, our security cameras, our smart home, this fan, and the refrigerator? Well, I'm not sure, but we'll find out. All right, here we are, and it's plugged in for now. Let's go ahead and turn on AC and see what happens. Now again, everything is off. Our TV's off. We have no lights on our router, nothing, as you can see. So let's go ahead and turn the display on and then hit AC and cross our fingers. 28, 77, 90, fan is on, 92, TV's coming on, 135. We'll keep an eye. I like the display. Now the fan's not turned on yet, but as you can see, everything's coming online. So let's keep our eyes on this. 130. Roku's turning the TV on. It'll drop for a moment and then it'll come back on. Don't worry about that wattage drop. It always happens. Cameras are coming online. All right, 60, 75. TV is officially on. 136. All right, let's see. 140. So far so good. I guess I'm going to go ahead and turn the fan on now. I got the fan right next to me. So we'll turn this fan on. See what happens. All right, fan's on low. Let's see. Hold on one second. Let me make sure the fan's plugged in. Sorry guys, I'm back and the fan is plugged in. So let me just turn it on low and see what happens. All right, 186. All right, 177. All right, so far so good. TV, internet, everything. Fan's on low. I'm going to go ahead and put the fan on high now. We're going to go from medium to high. 1, 2, 3. We're on high. We should go over 200 watts, I think. All right, maybe not. All right, 187. It's holding. Okay, well guys, so far a successful test. I think the next thing we have to do now is plug in the refrigerator. It's telling us it'll give us an hour based off this 67% on the battery. So let me go ahead and plug the refrigerator in. All right, I'm in the kitchen. I just unplugged the refrigerator. I'm just going to plug it back into here. This is not powered yet. It would be yellow showing power. So let's just push that in and go to the living room now and plug this into the power station. All right, I'm back, and we're about 176, 77 watts. I'm going to plug this in, and it's just going to do startup wattage. No compressor. The refrigerator has been on for a while. Again, TV's on, everything's on. Let's keep an eye on the wattage, and I just want to see if it does anything funny. So let's look at the TV, let's look at the screen. I'm going to put this in, and let's see. All right, so the screen on the TV turned off, which is weird. The fan turned off temporarily. We got 275 watts all the way up and back down. 129, TV turned back on. I don't know why it does that. When you plug something else into an outlet, it does something to this outlet temporarily. Now, the thing you'll see here is the refrigerator isn't using much wattage right now. You saw it go all the way up to 275 watts. And that's startup wattage. That's not the compressor, because this refrigerator has been on for a while. So right here on the left-hand side, I've got an image showing you the refrigerator information. It's a 2021. It's a new refrigerator, and it's pretty efficient, to be honest with you. But there you go. I guess we survived this test. We did it. And then, yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, so we're going to do a couple of power tests. So far, I've got this running the TV directly plugged into it. It's showing 104 watts. Interesting, because normally it's a little higher than that, but it's running it with no problem. So my 55-inch Samsung TV, no issues at all. Let's go ahead and try some other things. Okay, so we are running the TV right now. We have nothing else plugged in. I've got the plug for the Dell gaming laptop, running my favorite channel, techmadeezy. It's got a beefy power brick as well. This is a G5 gaming laptop. So while I've got some video running on that, let me go ahead and plug it in, and let's take a peek and see what we get. All right, so I'm plugging it in now, and it's weird how the wattage goes down. It actually did something with the TV, which is interesting. I don't know why. It shouldn't. One outlet shouldn't affect the other. TV's back on. 194 over here. 188. 200. Interesting. So, wow, that's a big swing in wattage. I mean, you know, obviously the laptop is charging. It's plugged in. It's got a battery. 195 to 163. We got weird swings here. 200. Okay. So we're seeing a high of 218, I believe. Wow, 218 to 149. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the 300 watts out of it, okay? All right, we are in the kitchen studio. You know how we do here on techmadeezy. Until we make the big time, we can have a real studio. But we're going to do a power test. All right, that's 300 watts, right, with a surge of 500. And these are like under 300 watts on each side, definitely, you know. So I'm going to plug this in. We're going to turn this on, okay? We're going to plug in AC. Again, look at that display. Isn't that cool? I love that large display. But let's go ahead and plug this in, all right? And AC should be off. So let's make sure we start this right. We got an 82% charge on the battery. And what we're going to do now is just to turn on AC and see what happens. And then, you know, this should be enough of a test, to be honest with you. So let's turn on AC, and we'll keep an eye on the screen, and we'll keep an eye on the charger as well. So how about that? AC is now on. 27, 7 watts, 1 watt, 49 watts, 78 watts, 107, 139. All right, what happened? So it turned off with an error 17. Don't know what that is. I mean, it's run a couple of things already, but nothing of this capacity. That is weird. So let's try it again. We'll reset and see what happens. 2 watts, 11, all right, 3, 57, 88, 116. Okay, interesting. Is it working? Nope. So it's failing. Error 17. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and plug this into a meter, and I'll show you how much wattage is coming out of it. Give me 1 second. All right, kitchen studio, and we're going to plug this in, and we're going to see what wattage it's pulling. All right, so that's on. I got 64, 89, 114, 140. All right, 200, 215, 225, 240, 246 watts. So it looks like it's hanging around 245, 246. I mean, that's under 300 watts. Why would it not work? Well, guys, I would say it failed the power test. I mean, 300 watts. This is 245, and it didn't work on this thing. I guess we're going to have to find out. I mean, we're still going to do our review. Nothing that we'll edit out, but we're going to have to find out from GooLoo what is up with that, because this doesn't have an app. You can't update the firmware. So this little guy failed. So we're back in the kitchen. Of course, that failed our power test. I reached out to GooLoo and I let them know. I said, listen, I just want to make you aware, you know, this failed the power test. I gave them an option. I said, if you can send me another unit, I'll test it. But whatever happens, I need to make sure that I disclose what happens, because at the end of the day, it's more important that I'm honest with you. So I'm going to crack this box open. All right, I'm going to show you that real quick. We'll put the newer power station on the left side, and then we'll do the AC power test, the same exact one. So let me go ahead and crack that open. All right, so just crack that open. And let's take a peek. And you know we don't do an unboxing like this, but there's your booklet. Here's your cables. Here's your new unit. Pull that out. All right, sorry about the camera shakeage. My film crew is on vacation. There's the new one. There's the old one. All right, let me unwrap it real quick. There it is, brand new. Take that off. Let's see, we got any charge. We should have a small charge in here. It always comes about 82% charged. Let me turn on AC. All right. I don't know why it comes shipped with that error. Okay. All right. So AC is off right now. Again, here's your older one. All right. So I'm going to leave this on the left side. Let's go ahead and plug in the charger with the one battery, right? 240 watts, right? So plug it in, turn on AC, and let's see what happens. That's turning on. 31, 53, 67, 82, 104. The fan just kicked on, which is nice. 130 watts, back down to 0. What is going on? Guys, this is the second unit they sent us. And to power a charger, right, that uses about 240 watts doesn't make sense. So it failed the AC test with the second unit. I feel so bad, but I'd rather be honest with you. All right, I'll continue the review. Here's an example of me powering my TV. All right, so the TV's on. And I have a 100 watt, USB Type-C charger, right? So I've got this plugged into something pulling about 100 watts. So as you can see, I started at 100%. I'm at 91% now. Again, 200 watts going out. You know, they say there's about an hour and, 1.3 hours based off the load, right? Because the battery's almost full. So, it is performing in this range. Obviously, it failed our power test with that charger, but within this 200 watt range, it seems to be performing well. It's been doing it for a while now. So I did want to share that with you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with our pros and our cons. So let's start off with the cons first. I will tell you, before I go through my little list of cons, I was very disappointed to see that this thing failed the 300 watt power test. We threw 200 and about 30 watts at it, and it kept coming up with an error. So, we asked GooLoo, our contact, to send us another unit. We said, that's impossible. Send us another unit. Check our video out. We got a second unit, and it had the same issue. All right? So, that's a big con, to be honest with you. Now, the other cons, it's got an external power brick. It's not that big, but it's still external, so something to carry around. It doesn't have a UPS function. A lot of people like that. They don't give you a solar cable in the box. And the last con is this thing charges slow at about 80 watts or so. So if you're going to need to charge this, it took us 4 hours and 31 minutes to charge this little guy. Okay? So those are our cons. Let's go ahead and go over some pros. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the pros, right? So first of all, I do like that it has this large display. That's pretty cool. I wish it was brighter, but it works. It does its job, especially in the dark. It's lightweight, only 8.8 pounds. They do give you a USB Type-C cable because you can do in and out on the USB port, a 60-watt USB port. And listen, it's got a nice little design, right, with the touches of yellow, like the honeycomb and stuff like that. Okay, so I guess the next question would be, what score are we going to give this power station? Well, let's check that out. So this is our simple techmadeezy 10th scale rating system. All right. As you can see on the top, 1.5 to 6.5. Cannot recommend due to many reasons. 7.5 to 8.5, some concerns, but the product performed well. And then obviously the 9 and the 10s. And yeah, I haven't given a 9 or 10 out yet. That's real hard. But what rating does this one get? Well, let's take a look at that. So as you can see, I'm giving this a rating of 5. And honestly, it should probably get less, right? I mean, look, if they're advertising 300 watts and I can't plug in a charger, a regular charger that doesn't even have a surge and won't give me more than 230, 240 watts, well, not good at all. So, go into our testing, check that out. But a 5, cannot recommend due to many reasons. All right. Now, I will tell you, when we powered devices that were around 200 watts, we didn't have an issue. Our TV, our 100 watt, USB Type-C charger. But this one gets a 5. All right. Well, as you could see, this one failed and we're not able to recommend it. Now, I hope that GooLoo obviously addresses the issue and maybe sends us another unit and we'll test it and we'll put a video up. So hopefully GooLoo is listening to us. But look, our subscribers are very important to us and our viewers that are out there, because if we can't be honest, then why even have a channel? So I hope you appreciate the review and liked it in some way. And if you did, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. We're still a growing channel. If you're new to the channel, take a moment and subscribe. We would love to have you as a family member. If you want, share our video with your friends, your family, maybe even in groups that you're in. And follow us on social media. You got Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can contact us there and you can follow us there. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Hey guys, take a moment and give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. As you can see, Brooklyn She's waving her tail for you. Take a moment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and you'll get notified of new videos we come out with. Also, follow us and contact us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.